All right, guys, so been really cold where we are, and I haven't been out to the cabin in a couple weeks. Snowed and um, just bitter cold this morning. I think the wind chill was something like -7, -10 below 0 Fahrenheit, and then standard temp was, between 5 and 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is pretty cold. It gets colder than that here, but today the sun came out and decided we'll get Bandit some exercise and bring him out to the cabin and see how it's holding up in the winter, and also do some skiing, so some cross-country skiing. So I was able to drive out on the road to the cabin, and it's not plowed, but we made it. And I parked here at the cabin. We're gonna do some skiing, and I'll take you guys along. Bandit loves it. He's not affected by the cold. People are concerned about him being cold or needing a sweater, but he loves it. He'll stay outside if that's an option to him. So he'll just run around, and we'll go back to a warm house later today and warm up and relax. So this is mostly getting out for me in the sun, but also Bandit gets some exercise. So, but the people who own it are well known in town. Everyone knows when you tell them where I live, they'll mention these folks. But I haven't had the pleasure of meeting them yet. I've only closed on the property in November of this year, so having not been familiar with this property and the road, and I just figured at some point this winter I won't be able to get in here without getting stuck, and I'll just have to wait until spring and then have to deal with mud season and all that. But hopefully by next winter I've got some machinery to maintain the road, plow the road, firewood and insulation in the cabin, so I can stay here next winter, or at least pretty deep into it. But we'll see. That's my goal. I won't have enough time to really cut my own firewood and season it, so I'm gonna buy a couple cords of seasoned wood. So you can see this is what I thought was part of the snowmobile trail. There's some signage up there, and then just down this hill is a little bit more of it. I don't want to go too far down this hill because I just climbed a hill, and coming back up this side might be a little bit too much for me on a day like today with it being so cold. But I want to go down here and check out. There's another snowmobile crossing. So we'll just go down here and then probably come back up. And you can see if this was groomed, I'd be zipping right now going down. But as you can see, actually quite a nice speed to be, and if things get squirrely, I can go into the deeper stuff, do a little bit of pizzaing, telemark turns. But if I'm not pushing right now with the poles, I'm actually would come to a stop. Yeah, so this is the other section that I thought was an active snowmobile trail, but I know some trails in town are getting groomed, but there must be, oh, maybe there's snowmobile been through here. Let's see. This looks like a car's been through here since the snow's come. Maybe a side by side. Looks wide. Let's see what it looks like up here. No, maybe that's not. That's just tracks, I think. Or maybe it was groomed. Let's see. Can't really tell. It's hard under there. There's a base, so maybe it was groomed and no one's been through here. Don't know. But this is where I wanted to check if snowmobiles are coming through. You can see the sign there, but then someone posted it, which is confusing. But we're gonna go back up our tracks here. I like these skis. They're old, but I think they're considered classic skis. They're a little bit narrower maybe than you would want for breaking trail, but they're lightweight. They're waxless, so they just have like the shark skin on the bottom. And they do pretty well. I thought about replacing these skis and boots, but when you look at prices for new skis and boots, it's ridiculous, and you get to thinking about what technology has actually changed in cross-country skiing. It's pretty simple, and not a lot has changed, but I think these companies need to, they have such a short sales period, you know, their prices need to be $300, $400, $500 for a pair of skis, and they need to keep making these minor adjustments. You know, they say their bindings are better and the materials are better, which I'm sure they are, but does not justify the price. Today I could be enjoying this ski just the same on a pair of, you know, military grade wooden skis from World War II era and 3-pin boots and a little wax, which are not that incredibly different than what I'm working with right now. They just look newer, different materials. So I'm gonna stick with these skis. The other thing about cross-country skis is if you get to asking around, everyone in this area has got a couple full sets that, you know, they got when they moved here, or they gave up on it, or the snow hasn't been good, or they lost access to their trail. I'm gonna go up here and check this out. So a lot of times people have skis they can just give you. Like I said, there's not a ton of what I believe, not a ton of difference. If it's a ski that you have a boot that fits the binding, just get outside and use it. Don't worry too much about, is this a good quality ski? you don't want your bindings to break in the middle of the woods. So if you're out far out and my ski binding broke, that wouldn't be super fun. That's happened to me before. 'Cause then you gotta walk back through some deep snow, and that can take a long time and get snow in your boot. But that's one nice thing about some of those 3-pin bindings, old school, is you could rig something up if you've got, you know, some emergency equipment, string, parachute cord in your bag. You could rig something up to get you back. Whereas these ski boots I'm wearing have the modern, I think it's just called triple N style binding. If this breaks, I don't think I could easily rig something up in the field to get back. So there's some power lines down here, which I'm going to take a look at. Which is where I thought the snowmobile trail would be going. And you could ride this, especially if it got a groom on it before this last few inches. So these power lines are actually pretty neat, I think, because I'm going to take this, try to take my camera off here. All right. So it gives you a clearing and you can see a good distance and see some of the land that you wouldn't otherwise see if it was buried in forest. So there's Bandit. You can see some nice land and properties down through there. There's a loop if you go down where the bottom of this hill is. You can do a loop back to my house that way, but I've gotten lost in there before. There's no cell service in here, so I've got a GPS, but just in case I get lost. So there's Bandit. Don't tell me he's cold. He loves it out here. Following some sort of trail there up that hill. So I guess there's stories of some people who lived out here, whether it was in my cabin or what, but some old school extreme skiing videos they would make on a powder day on these cliffs and rocks. It'd be pretty cool. Of course, the way to do that would be to have a snowmobile, and then you'd run your lap and someone would pick you up, bring you back up, and you'd want a few people out here in case someone got hurt, because you're not getting rescued by ambulances. Although there have been people in the White Mountains, New Hampshire recently, hiking, getting into trouble in the weather. They've been sending out rescue crews and helicopters to rescue people. So I don't know how that works, because it's been made very clear to me that my cabin does not have emergency response for the town, but if the state's rescuing people in hiking mountains, and this kind of weather. I wonder how that would work, but my goal is not to need any rescuing ever, so hopefully that doesn't come up. Trying to get better about, even on these small trips, packing some equipment. On a day like this, if you got stranded for the night, you would really need to be able to start a fire, build a shelter. So I think what I should be putting together is a emergency kit with a tarp, some paracord, fire starting materials. I've got water to melt snow, maybe an energy bar of some sort. And then with that, if you needed to, you could spend the night. Wouldn't be comfortable, but you could. Not getting into cooking gear and hot water and Bandit running down the road. He loves it. So it is noticeably easier on this track that's already been broken. We'll see how this hill goes. Here's the start of the hill. All right. That was fun, uneventful, no falling, good speed. Well, all right, guys, that was not a long first ski for out here, but I enjoyed it. It's cold out. Good reason to get outside. Bandit loved it, of course, and basically did it right out our front door. So we made it back to the cabin safely, no injuries, and we broke a trail. So maybe next time would be a little easier. Get a little bit more snow, a little bit warmer out. Yeah. Say bye.